2 months ago there was a domestic dispute in my building. I, 25F, was coming home when I noticed two police officers waiting for the elevator. I would have waited for the next one, but we only have two elevators, and one was broken. I rode up with the officers, and I was surprised to see that we all got off on the same floor mine. Apparently the disturbance was the unit next to mine. I've only lived here for 3 months, so I don't know any of my neighbors. I didn't think too much of it at the time, and I went into my unit and closed the door. About 30 minutes later, I hear a knock at my door. It was one of the police officers that I had ridden up with on the elevator. He asked me to open the door, but I was hesitant, so I asked if we could just talk through the closed door. He showed me his badge through the peephole to I guess make me feel safer, but that didn't help. He told me that he needed to see my identification because I might be a witness to what occurred in the unit next to mine. I told him that I saw nothing, so I wouldn't be a big help. He told me that either I talk to him now, or I have to go to the police station in the morning, which could take all day. I'm a student. I couldn't take off a whole day to talk about an incident, so I agreed. He didn't come inside my place. We chatted at my door. He asked me for ID, so I gave him my driver's license. He wrote down my information, my number as well, and told me that he would be in contact. 2 days later I spotted him at my building after coming home from class. He asked me how my neighbors were doing, and I said fine, and tried to get into my building. He stopped me and said that he thought he and I had chemistry the night we met, and he asked me out. I told him that I had a boyfriend, lie, and I sidestepped him into my building. The next day, I had a call from my grandmother. She tells me that a nice police officer came by and was asking very personal questions about me. The person she described sounds exactly like the police officer who asked me out. My license has my grandmother's address. I was living with her before, and I haven't had time to go and change it. At this point I was freaking out. I told her not to talk to him, and not to answer the door if he comes back. 2 weeks ago I'm walking home from class, and I jaywalk to get to my building. I hear someone calling my name, so I turn around, and it's the police officer again. He tells me that he could fine me for jaywalking because it's illegal, but he won't if I go out with him. I told him again that I'm seeing someone, but he tells me that my grandmother told him that I was single. I told him that it's a new relationship, so she wouldn't know. He said that he would hold off on the jaywalking ticket, but not for long. It's been a few weeks since the confrontation, but I see him pretty often. I live in a safe neighborhood, but he seems to always be parked somewhere near my school or apartment building. I'm on a student visa. I'm Canadian. I can't afford to have a ticket on my record, but I'm also very worried that this police officer will escalate this situation if I don't go out with him. I told one of my closest friend about this, and she told me that what this police officer was doing was romantic, and I'm an asshole for not going out with him.